Hello everyone, welcome back to Boring Channel 8. My name is Tony, and today we are talking about a situation with Jimmy Kimmel and diving a little bit deeper into that. His cancellation on his home network that was home for him for how many years? I mean, it's crazy that they canceled him. So let's take a look on what he said first, and then I will share my thoughts with you guys. Let's take a look.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from.
Here's everything you need to know about the off-key monologue that got Jimmy Kimmel's show pulled indefinitely. The controversy began during Monday's show when the late-night comic started off by claiming that MAGA was using Charlie Kirk's assassination to score political points. But Kimmel didn't stop there. He went on to call out President Trump, who is scheduled to deliver a speech at Kirk's memorial service on Monday, for what he deemed to be an insufficient reaction to the murder.
In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay?
Kimmel then doubled down, sharing that it wasn't the first time since Kirk's murder that Trump redirected a question about the Turning Point USA founder back to the White House ballroom.
And it didn't just happen once.
When I heard it, I was in the midst of, building a great, for 150 years, they've wanted a ballroom at the White House, right? They don't have a ballroom. They have to use tents on the lawn for President Xi when he comes over. If it rains, it's a wipeout. And so I was with the architects that would design. It's going to be incredible. And they came in, they said, Charlie Kirk is dead. I didn't know what they meant. I said, what do you mean dead? Charlie Kirk was shot. And they thought he was dead because it was so horrific, And I said, dead.
And then we installed the most beautiful chandelier. Sconces, you wouldn't believe. There's something wrong with them. There really is.
The backlash to Kimmel's monologue was swift, including from the Federal Communications Commission chair, Brendan Carr. The President Trump appointee blasted Kimmel's remarks and urged affiliates to preempt his program during an interview with conservative podcaster Benny Johnson. Change needs to happen on Kimmel, Carr said. Nexstar Communications, which operates 23 ABC affiliates, announced it would no longer carry the program due to Kimmel's remarks. Hours later, ABC took Carr's words and Nexstar's actions to heart and canceled the show indefinitely. Sinclair Broadcasting took things even further, announcing that the suspension wasn't enough and vowing to yank Jimmy Kimmel Live from its stations until the host apologizes directly to Charlie Kirk's family and donates to his political activist group. The company also demanded that formal discussions are held with ABC regarding the network's commitment to professionalism and accountability. Kimmel's removal has sparked fierce debate, with critics accusing ABC.
So, first thing I want to say is that I'm not a Jimmy Kimmel fan. I never particularly liked the guy. I never really agreed with most of the things he said. I think he's pretty much he's dumb, he's stupid. And his show is stupid, in my opinion. But it's my opinion, and I reserve that for myself. And it's fine, Even stupid people, in my opinion, stupid people, deserve the right to say stupid things. Like the thing he said, like the MAGA people are trying to desperately point that the assassin of Charlie Kirk is not one of them. We know now that that's not true. Should Jimmy Kimmel be called out for his bullshit? Absolutely, he should be called out for his bullshit. Should he be canceled? I'm not really convinced, guys. I'm not a fan of canceling in general. Canceling is something that was always associated for me with the left. But in this case, the political pressure that was reported in this case, and in general, just ABC, I think the network was ABC, crumbling under this kind of pressure so easily for someone who was with them for so many years. He must thought he's safe to say things like that. The fact that he found a way how to spin it to hate Trump. I mean, Trump, he's right. His comments were absolutely out of line. The question was not what he was eventually answering. That's typical for Trump. I'm getting used to it. Not particularly like it. I'm not in support of it. I just, what should I think of that, really? But canceling is the issue, is the core issue for me, and I don't really believe that Jimmy Kimmel should be canceled for this. Maybe I'm gonna be alone in this, and gonna be a little bit lynched for it. But even though that I think the guy is really a stupid dumbass, I don't particularly like him, but I don't hate him. So he can have his show and he can have people listening to him, as long as he's not doing things like, celebrating a death of somebody who is innocent, or approving violence against somebody or something like that. I'm fine. I'm fine with free speech being able to provide for him this opportunity. And this is what we, I think, all stand for. So guys, let me know in the comments what you think. Should Jimmy Kimmel be canceled? Or do you think it's somewhat an attack, again, an attack this time from the right on the free speech? Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts about this situation, and see you in the next one.